sibling living with SMA and 2 able-bodied siblings. During his undergraduate career, he studied abroad 3 times in Costa Rica, China, and Taiwan. As a student activist, he advocated for the rights of Latinx, LGBTQIA, disabled students, and other marginalized communities. He earned his bachelor's degree in Spanish and Translation Studies at the University of Illinois in August 2014. His passion for education and travel has inspired him to obtain his master's degree in international higher education, where he has had the opportunity to study in Vietnam and Italy. Working for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, MDA, has allowed his other passion in life to flourish, helping people in the healthcare world. MDA has taught him to reimagine himself as a professional and as someone who can impact the life of others on a daily basis. He loves working with people and cannot wait to see where life will take him. Please help me in welcoming 2014 UIUC alum and this evening's keynote speaker and my good Judy, Hugo Trevino.
Yeah!
Sorry, I just need to rise to the occasion. All right, thank you so much for having me here today. It is a tremendous honor to sit in front of you tonight. I would like to thank the university, the Office of Inclusion and Intercultural Relations, the hardworking staff at the LGBT Resource Center, and a huge shout out to all the University of Illinois graduating class of 2018. Today, we celebrate you, your strength, and your success. Today is a time to celebrate not only your accomplishments, but to celebrate who you are no matter where in the rainbow or the LGBTQIA+ spectrum you fall under. Coming out is important. I also understand that being openly out is a privilege we aren't always afforded. As a writer and transgender rights activist, Janae Mock would say, being out is an act of hope, resistance, and resilience, and your representation as an out individual matters. I didn't always think like this as a gay man with disability. I had a hard time coming out. My thoughts were, why make the world more challenging by also coming out? My 2 visible identities are that I am Latino due to my brown skin and that I have a disability due to my wheelchair. But having a disability and affecting your sexual or gender identity has a lot of intersectionality that needs to be recognized. This intersectionality has affected my view of myself as I had to take pride in all of my identities. I remember being 9 years old, depressed, and wondering why God had picked me to have a disability. Accepting and embracing my disability was just as hard as accepting my sexuality. You learn to accept your disability growing up, and once you have jumped that hurdle, then comes to jump other facets of yourself. I also remember being in college at the age of 19 and wondering why life had made me gay. I already had a disability where I was discriminated against. Why would I want to struggle even more by being judged for loving someone of the same sex? I had to think back to my 9-year-old self and realize that I needed to accept my gay identity the same way I had accepted my disability. It's not until you accept all aspects of yourself that you can truly be yourself and begin to gain back that independence and begin self-advocacy. My freshman year, I was struggling being a student, juggling my independence with my disability, and busy trying to figure out how to manage my time so I could have a social life, as everyone wants in college. One thing that became very apparent to me my sophomore year, once I had a good grip on being a college student, was that there wasn't many people that looked like me. Representation matters. And I felt alone on campus, so I began to seek out the different cultural houses. First, I visited La Casa Cultural Latina, which helped me, but a big part of my identity was still missing. It was then that I realized that I also needed to visit the LGBT Resource Center. Visiting the LGBT Resource Center was huge because I was finally embracing a part of me that I had denied for years. Before even coming out to my family, I began visiting the LGBT Resource Center. It was the support of my peers that helped me during one of the most difficult times of my life. Look around you today. Whether you know it or not, you are a major support system for someone here today, and you help students in this room accept who they are and make it to this point in their lives. So congrats. I kept coming back to the Resource Center for continuous support. The Lunch and Learns helped me learn about the different topics affecting our community, and the different events held by the LGBT Resource Center helped me see myself as a successful out person. Once again, representation matters. The interesting part is that my sexuality is not at the forefront of people's mind due to my disability, so I get to be incognito, but I chose not to do that because that would be denying a huge part of who I am. Being openly gay also has other challenges besides just dating. I cannot care for myself, and therefore I must hire others to help me with activities of daily living. I remember first coming out and realizing that I needed to tell the over 15 personal care attendants, which I also call my PCAs, about my gay identity. I do not hire my PCAs unless I feel like we can become friends. Even though I am professional while they are helping me, I was afraid that my male or even my female PAs might discriminate against me and decide to stop working for me, or worse, leave me stranded because of my sexual orientation. I came out to my PCAs before even coming to my family. I invited each PCA out to coffee or lunch and sat them down to tell them about my newly embraced identity. To my surprise, not a single PCA quit working for me, and it actually strengthened our relationship. People with disabilities at times rely on their family members for their main primary care, and coming out might not be a safe option, or it might not be an option at all. One of the main reasons why I came out to my PCAs first, instead of my family, was because I come from a Mexican family, and I needed to make sure that if my family was not going to accept me or want to care for me anymore, I would need to make sure that my PCAs were still going to be there to care for my health and possibly also offer me emotional support. I once again lucked out. My immediate family completely embraced me and accepted me for who I am. My coming out experience was a positive one, and I need to thank the LGBT Resource Center for this, which is why it's also amazing to be up here today. Safe spaces are needed and essential to campus life. It is an area where students can find a safe environment, no matter where they fall on the LGBTQ spectrum, to gather, socialize, connect, without worrying about hate or even microaggressions. I remember my friends and I would constantly use the LGBT Resource Center as our hangout spot. It honestly became a second home. We would hang out in the LGBT Resource Center to study or escape our hectic lives. I remember one summer when I stayed on campus, a small group gathered randomly and decided to all tell our coming out stories. It was honestly one of the best nights of my undergraduate career. When it finally came to my turn, I explained to them my situation and how I hadn't come out. And even though no one else had a disability, they all offered great ways to come out to my family, which I later did use. Even though none of them had a disability, we shared a common struggle. And once again, representation mattered. I was able to turn their stories of struggle and triumph into tools to better communicate with my family and find my voice as a gay man. It has influenced me till this day, and it's the reason why I'm getting my Master's of Education and International Higher Education. I want to be that representation that matters for future students. My sophomore year was a pivotal year for me. Seeking out representation within La Casa and the LGBT Resource Center helped me retain as a student and guaranteed that I obtained my bachelor's degree in 2014. The most important part about joining these centers was that I gained a second family. I built a community around me. Unfortunately, we are living in a world where hate has become easier to spread than love, where our protections are being overturned or removed, and LGBT individuals are being debated about whether we'll even be included in the 2020 census. As future leaders, we need to continue to build up our communities, create safe spaces like the LGBT Resource Center. We need to make sure that these spaces continue to exist and are well funded by not only institutions of higher education, but all institutions. When our current environment tries to deny that we exist, we need to unite more than ever. Once again, representation matters, and we need to make sure we are well represented in all aspects of society and proudly show all of our colors, all the wonderful colors of the rainbow. As Jason Collins, an openly gay NBA player, said, openness may not completely disarm prejudice, but it's a good place to start. Class of 2018, You are the future of this world, and as future leaders, you need to make sure that past generations can look to you as role models and can look to your struggles to pave the way. It might not be easy, but it is important for those that come after us. Once again, representation will matter more than ever before for future generations. The fight to make this world a better place is never over as we continue to fight for our right and make this world a more inclusive place. Remember that accepting yourself for who you are is already an act of rebellion. Remember to build safe spaces. Remember to create communities. Remember to become a family member for those that might not be accepted by theirs. And remember to educate others on what being LGBTQ means. Because your voice will help others gain their voice, and in that, you'll help them be able to also advocate for themselves. As former US President Barack Obama said, when all Americans are treated equal, no matter who they are or whom they love, we are all a little more free. You matter, and your representation matters. Always be yourself, and the world will reward you. Congratulations, our class of 2018. Now go out there and be a catalyst of change. Thank you.
Yeah! Slow walk away.